And welcome to the latest and greatest from Step Brother Sports, part of the Hockey Podcast Network and the Bills Mafia Buffalo fan-based platform. Brought to you by Rich Brow Brewing, located at 5 South 20th Street, Richmond, Virginia's premier Buffalo Bills backers bar. So, folks, tonight we're going to channel our Prince and Twin Cities vibes with this evening's guest. He's a colleague of mine, helped me grow and appreciate, and also helped me grow and appreciate writing as a process here. He's faithful to Minnesota sports through and through, and also got me addicted to the New York Times daily mini crossword as well. He previously was at the Arizona Republic as a news writer and always looks for creative ways to add some wit and snark. I'm pleased to introduce my friend and favorite fellow four-time Super Bowl loser. Please welcome Grant Martin.
Yes, sir.
Hey, y'all, thanks for having me. First time ever on a podcast tonight. So it's been kind of fun watching this kind of show, that Chris has, started. And of course you as well, Sean, take off and watching y'all build and maintain and then grow an audience. I know that you have had some actually professionally experienced guests on the pod in recent times. I'm just going to be a fan here tonight, though, if that's okay with you guys.
Hey, we'll take it again. But you add some differing perspectives. You are not somebody who follows the Bills or Buffalo sports in general. You give an outsider's perspective, which we are always here to welcome. Yes, objective takes. So we are here for that. But more importantly, Grant, how goes it?
Things are going pretty well. My Vikings whooped up on a Joe Burrow-less Cincy team on Sunday, and I'm still kind of riding that high.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
seems like we signed the right backup quarterback.
Seems like you signed the right backup cornerback, Isaiah Rodgers. Can you talk a little bit about that guy? Played his ass off.
I can talk about him. I mean, look, he was the best player in that game. He's the best player on that field. I don't think we knew what we were getting exactly when we signed him. We lost Cam Bynum, of course, last season in the offseason. But he stepped right up, and, obviously it's not super tough to make Jake Browning look bad, but he did it.
It's true.
So that was a nice game. Again, I'm just going to take it with a grain of salt. I really don't think that the Bears, the Browns, or excuse me, it's been a long day. Bengals without Burrow, they're probably not going to be much of a threat until Burrow returns, if he does return this year. But it was nice to see us, look all right. And, of course, Carson Wentz, it's kind of cute. Somebody from North Dakota, grew up a Vikings fan, seeing him step up and look all right. Look like the best quarterback we've had in our team all season on Sunday. So a little apprehensive, but also excited to see, how that turns out going forward.
Love that.
Nice.
But one thing we'll do to get started whenever we have guests of any kind that come on the show, we always like to have them go down a rabbit hole of their sports origins, or even in this case, journalism origins, which you have both. So tell us, Grant, what are some core sports memories for you growing up? What makes you love and enjoy writing, or even just anything about sports or things in general? So feel free to take us down memory lane from things about you.
Chris, you're really teeing this one up for me.
Sure am.
He's good at it, isn't he?
Yeah, it's like he's done this before. As far as a core sports memory goes, look, I grew up in Northern Virginia. I was born in Washington, D.C. I have lied about that many times, telling people that I was actually born in the Twin Cities. True story here is that my parents are from the Twin Cities, and my entire extended family lives in St. Paul or Minneapolis or some of the surrounding suburbs. But for better or worse, typically for worse, I grew up a fan of all Minnesota sports. My initial core sports memory would be Game 6, 1991. Kirby Puckett hit a home run in the bottom of the 11th inning to send that World Series game to a Game 7. That was the first moment that I realized that sports were something that would always be a part of my life. I was in third grade at that time. And then, of course, I became a football fan in 98. I mean, I was always kind of hazily a fan of the Minnesota Vikings, but I'm not going to hijack your podcast right now and tell you exactly why I do believe that the 98 Minnesota Vikings team was the best NFL team in the history of that league. We were fantastic that year. No, we did not even go to the Super Bowl. we lost in overtime again at home to the Falcons that year. But that was kind of the year where I just sort of, fell hook, line, and sinker in love with the Vikings. And, Timberwolves in recent years have been amazing. The Lynx, I'm kind of a shameless bandwagon fan with them right now.
Edwards, bro? Damn.
Sorry?
Anthony Edwards?
We could spend another half hour talking about Anthony Edwards.
He's good. He's really good.
I probably wouldn't want to hang out with him.
Sure.
Like a bit of a rough hang, but he's remarkable to watch. And he's going to be good for a really long time. So there's that. As far as writing goes, I was an English major at college. I went to college here in Virginia. I grew up loving two things, basically, writing and sports, and was able to kind of parlay that into a career at a couple of newspapers in South Carolina and in Arizona. Got to cover the Milwaukee Brewers for spring training because they train out in the Cactus League in Arizona.
Nice.
Cover them for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. That was a treat. Found out that baseball players can be kind of weird, but it was still fun. So all of which brings me here, working with Chris and still watching sports. And I think we've got a lot of, shared scar tissue. You guys as Buffalo fan, me as a Minnesota fan. Certainly there's no shortage of commiseration that we can do tonight. Optimism about where we stand right now going forward.
Love that. Chris Mass, I just want to jump in. So what we
always
like to always
Bills.
do.
Thanks to our Texas family, by the way, for
indeed.
always chiming in. Thank you.
Our favorite. But yeah, Grant, we always like to do I like to do a quick degrees of separation segment where we kind of take a quick deep dive into the things that we might have in common. And this one, there's a kind of couple quick ones. The obvious one, the fact that you and Chris, work together on a daily basis in your professional careers, which is pretty cool. And I'm actually headed down to visit. We have a live show coming up at Richbrow, which hopefully you'll be able to make it. So I'll be able to meet you in person.
I'm at home right now. Richbrow is it's a great place, great beer, great people. And it's only about 5 blocks down the street right now.
Damn.
Right now. Yeah, he lives in
pregame at your house with a little walk. Okay, I love that.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah.
So we'll definitely do that. And then I know you. I think you stopped short. So I love you for doing that when you talked about your college. So two things. So you went to William and Mary, same college as our beloved Sean McDermott, coach of the Bills. So that's kind of a cool thing. Also, you were mentioning before we went live that you have your graduate degree from Arizona State, a team that I just happened to bet and win on last week. I think they were an underdog, and they kept. Did they win the game all right? I can't remember. I know they covered the spread.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really watch a lot of Arizona State. I mean, I watched one Arizona State football game at Sun Devil Stadium the entire time I was a grad student there. Nice. And that was a game where Vontaze Burfict. You guys remember that guy?
Oh, yeah. From the Bengals. Yeah.
Yeah, he was tossed out of that game. I think he had 3 personal fouls, and he was just the worst player on the field. But no.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. And then, again, probably not someone that I'd want to hang out with, but sure.
And then last thing, and we'll keep everything moving here. Obviously, you're a Vikings fan. So, and this just kind of became, it's kind of a current events type of thing where Dion Dawkins, our a friend, actually, a friend of a friend, our buddy Nick, who's a sponsor of the show, is his personal camera guy. So shout out to Nick Shimbita in plumbing. And he also, works with Dion. But Dion was interviewed this week, and I forgot who it was in the national media, but they basically asked Dion, what was the moment that he knew Josh Allen was special? And do you know what he referenced? Something should be near and dear to your heart. That would be the Anthony Barr hurdle.
Oh, who can forget that?
Remember that one?
I do remember that one. Anthony Barr is no longer on our team. We're number 55, middle linebacker, freak athlete. Not great in coverage, but he could bring the wood.
Yeah. Just not that day.
Just not that day. And that's the kind of thing that Josh Allen does. And you guys hopefully appreciate what you have in him, not just from a quarterbacking perspective, but from someone who knows how to use the media and seem like a genuinely good dude. I know he just got married. He's probably going to be starting a family in Buffalo pretty soon, putting down roots. Like, that is someone that you can absolutely build a franchise around. And super excited for you, on your behalf that you've got something like that to rally around. He's a freak, but he's
freak is being generous. Yes, extremely lucky. Like as like years continue to like fall off the calendar with Allen on the Bills, you said it yourself. Like we really do like appreciate the fact that we might never have somebody like this as the Bills quarterback ever again, let alone even just be in the same stratosphere of talent. Like, of course, yes, you have the 90s Bills. They had everything like going their way as far as like what they're able to do and accomplish. But again, like Allen, he's just at the doorstep of just trying to get the team to the Super Bowl. I mean, we hope we have at least more than just a few solid years left of his prime play before like age starts to catch up with him, like any player will. I mean, no players are going to be able to have the longevity of Brady. It's just not the way everybody's built, and he's also just a freak for what he was able to do on and off the field, diet wise and exercise regimen wise.
Start drinking the children's blood soon, man.
Yeah, say what you will about the Alex Guerrero regimen. I mean, hey, dude played till 45. So, but still, I mean, we hope there's many good Josh Allen years ahead of us. I mean, like you said, enough. He's beyond a folk hero. He represents and embodies everything about that city, and the whole area, the whole region is just united behind him. So again, like it's hard to not root for him, even as like an opposing fan base. I see plenty on social media just saying, and yes, even like some division rivals too, like saying, as much as I hate this team, so like it's just hard not to just love Josh Allen and his personality.
And I'm sure you guys watched Hard Knocks as well, going into this coming season. He just came across really well in a way that seems kind of rare. He seems like an actual genuine person. Does not seem like an act, and not to single out Tom Brady, but when Tom Brady's putting on a show for the cameras, it kind of felt a little, somewhat artificial. Yeah. Josh Allen seems like the real deal. So, enjoy him while you can, and hopefully you can enjoy him for a long time.
No kidding. Yes.
Hopefully we can get that Super Bowl, man, this year or soon.
Yeah.
I got some questions about that to ask of you guys. I know I'm the guest on your pod right now, but
we'll get into some of your unbiased Bills takes and unadulterated and like we said, objective takes on that. But again, you already hinted at a little bit of stuff for the Vikings, Grant. So obviously you guys had an interesting offseason. Sam Darnold is no longer on the team as he led the team to a 15-2 campaign last year, despite maybe some challenges in the division that they experienced against Detroit and going into that first playoff game. And unfortunately, Darnold did not have the greatest of days, which is why he's now quarterback in the Seattle Seahawks. But even before then, there was some controversy to who would even start between him and J.J. McCarthy. But McCarthy answered that question with his knee injury last year in the preseason. Now he has the full reins of the team. But again, here we are once more. McCarthy is sidelined with what might be a few weeks of an injury here with a high ankle sprain. And in comes Carson Wentz, who faded into obscurity with his trade from the Eagles, then to the Colts, then he signed with Washington. He's been a journeyman these last few years. But Wentz looked solid in his premiere with the Vikings this past Sunday. And you and I have talked about this several times already. If anybody's going to be the person to revive Carson Wentz's career, let alone Daniel Jones even last year, it could be KOC, Kevin O'Connell himself. So again, Grant, give us some of your initial takes about the Vikings 3 weeks in and what you hope to see going forward, whether it is a true, actual, real quarterback controversy or just other facets of the team you find interesting or want to delve deeper on.
Yeah. At the outset, I want to stress that this is not a bad problem that we are looking at right now. It's a blessing that Wentz looked as good and as ready as he did on Sunday. Certainly, when we called McCarthy unavailable to play on Monday, that kind of gave us, and KOC specifically, 6 days to get Carson ready for that game. And going forward, I mean, JJ's our quarterback. We had never taken as a franchise a quarterback in the top 10 picks of the NFL draft before taking JJ McCarthy at number 10 a couple years ago. So we have mortgaged a lot on his future and his success. And certainly, if Kevin O.C. saw enough of the talent in McCarthy last year to say, hey, we can go ahead and get rid of Sam Darnold, then I trust his judgment at this point. With that said, if Wentz looks like he did against Cincy, we can't bench him. He looked good. He ran the offense, looked like he had command of the huddle, fed JJ, not McCarthy, of course, but Justin Jefferson.
Chet is down there somewhere. Throw it.
You have to, I don't know why JJ McCarthy didn't prioritize that or seemingly seem to. He threw a lot of weird routes short of the sticks a lot of the time, but he looked like a rookie, which he is. Right now, he's still the youngest starting quarterback. He's not starting right now, but he's younger than, Cam Ward. He's younger than any of the rookies. He's younger than Shadur Sanders. Like, he's still the youngest in the league. So there's going to be some growing pains. I had so many, relatives, text saying during that Atlanta game, that terrible Monday Night Football game, saying, yeah, JJ's not ready to lead this team right now. I don't really care, though. You have to give him his reps. Josh Allen didn't come out of the gate looking like Josh Allen right now. You're just going to have to let him take his lumps and
that's such an unfair comparison for any quarterback coming out these days. Like, everybody's like, "Oh, look at Josh Allen. It took him a few years." But yeah, he's going to be the like Sean said, the prototype of just, give them some time to marinate and just settle in and stuff. And for so many, that's just unrealistic. And just the way the current NFL is set up, like, people aren't really into waiting as much as they used to be.
It's instant gratification that transcends across sports into like social media. We see it all the time. People want immediate satisfaction. They want that dopamine. And with NFL quarterbacking, like, it's just not going to be that easy most of the time. As far as other takes go, I did place a DraftKings wager. Am I allowed to say that? On on the Vikings.
Shout out DraftKings.
Yeah, that was, I think, the one bet that hit. Just because I really didn't think that a Brian Flores defense was going to lose 2 games in a row at home, specifically against a backup quarterback in Jake Browning. It didn't seem to make any sense. The story of our team right now is not our offense, and people are going to make that quarterback controversy whatever they want to make of it. But our defense is fantastic, and it is almost uniquely designed to make backup quarterbacks look bad. Do I think that continues against Aaron Rodgers on Sunday morning? We're playing in London against the Steelers.
Right.
Ireland, not in London. So
Ireland.
I didn't take over today. Oh, Europe, whatever.
Yeah.
somewhere over there.
Yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers has kind of seen everything that Flo can throw at him. But, against a backup quarterback, I think Flores is more than capable of making just about anyone look silly. So that's where I take the most encouragement from our team right now.
Gotcha. I do want to ask a question. I was going to ask you about JJ, and just in terms of his size, because I remember the year Michigan won the championship. I remember being with shout out to our buddy Tony. He actually had me wearing a Michigan Tom Brady jersey for that day down in we were in Fort Lauderdale.
Shame.
I know. I've now officially changed affiliations to Georgia, University of Georgia. But I was going to say just about McCarthy. Like, the one thing that I was worried about him was just his size. I know when he played in college, the guy's 6'3", which is that's good, decent size for a quarterback, a pocket player. But he was at about like 200 or 201. And I know, like, this season, I checked a little bit at the beginning of the season about his size. He's up to like 220. So he's definitely put on some bulk and some muscle to be able to handle the rigors of the season. So I wanted to see if I didn't know where he got that injury. So obviously you feel free to talk about how he's looked. Does he look a little bit bigger? Is he, do you feel like he'll be able to withstand a 17-game season moving forward? If you have any concerns at all about that. But the other thing I wanted to ask you too, it's just about that division. Obviously, it's one that you live in. It's the NFC North, still easily, I think, the toughest division in sports. So what takeaways, if any, do you have, of the 4 teams after either the offseason? Obviously, we saw a pretty crazy game Monday night as well, which we were very happy to see the Lions escape with a nice win there. But yeah. Any thoughts?
No, I appreciate that. I mean, so kind of a two-part question. Certainly JJ, who I don't believe to actually be 6'3". I might put him at 6'2" tops, maybe 6'1". He does look a bit more bulky in a good way.
Quick side note. I remember you telling me you also met Stephon Diggs, who also is listed as like 6'2". You told me definitely nowhere close to that height either.
Oh, man, Chris, he's our size. And there's no fat on Steph Diggs. It's remarkable. I mean, he looked like a dancer, like a ballet dancer. Like there's no fat. He's clearly athletic. But I was shocked by, the routes that Diggs runs, going over the middle like that. Like, I don't know how you get popped and come back when you're built, sorry, Chris, like you and me.
Right.
So it's, I do think that NFL teams kind of fudge the numbers, especially with quarterbacks. So is he 6'3"? Probably not. Was he too skinny last year? Yeah, I think so. And these aren't new concerns. I mean, you look at someone like Bryce Young, who's clearly shorter and clearly lighter, and you can't help but worry. This is, again, part of the reason why Josh Allen is, just a super freak, because he's just 6'5". Is he 240, 250, Josh Allen, right now?
Probably like the 235, 240 range, yeah.
Yeah, he slims down right before like in camp, and then for the season. I think they like him around like 238, actually, is like the number, weirdly enough.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's the heaviest quarterback I can think of playing in the league right now. Haven't really thought that one through yet. But no, bottom line is like, yeah, you're certainly, concerned about a quarterback. You look at the guys he's lining up against. We get Micah Parsons now twice a year. I don't want to see Micah Parsons do something like Anthony Barr did to Aaron Rodgers about 10 years ago, where he broke his collarbone. But right now, like, I can only care about, his ankle sprain and hope he gets back out there. So it's kind of on my end, just take it one day at a time. As far as our division goes, though, I appreciate you, Sean, saying that it's the best division in sports, because to me, it's clearly the best division in football. But I think the best division in sports is a more accurate descriptor. Look, we were 14-3 last year, and we did not.
That's right, 14-3, not 15-2. Sorry for the mistake.
Well, you're close, but I mean, like, look, we didn't get to host a playoff game, which was insane. We had to go on the road, and I do like our home field advantage. The Ship is an amazing stadium, and it gets rocking. And so for us to go 14-3, not to get to host a playoff game, that stung. But what are you going to do when I think the Lions were 15-2 last year? You look at the Packers right now. I know they lost a game that I relished. I loved watching them lose on Sunday.
Sure, yeah. Cleveland's D is no joke, though. Cleveland's D is legit.
Probably the best defense in football.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Did their D block that field goal at the end of the game? I don't really know.
Pieces of it did. So
pieces of it did. But that said, I mean, it's a 17-week season, and I think the Packers have nothing to worry about. They should be a 12-win team. And it kills me to say that, because I cannot stand that team or that fan base or that state. People in Minnesota are basically trained since birth to just absolutely loathe everything Wisconsin. I hate the Badgers too. But that can't take away from the fact that I think the Packers are going to be a problem. And the worst team in the division is the Bears, and they look good on Sunday. So
they look scrappy. They look pretty damn scrappy, man. Roma Dunze is the truth. I'm going to say that right now.
Yeah, he's going to be a problem for the next decade at least. And Caleb, who knows? And Ben Johnson coming in. Look, that's an absolute meat grinder of division. And again, it took us a miraculous J.J. McCarthy fourth quarter to beat the Bears in Chicago. I expect more of the same against them and every team in the North that we play this year. So I don't know. We got to temper expectations. Is one division really going to send 3 teams to the playoffs? Doesn't seem likely.
Happened last year.
Sure did.
Mm-hmm.
Sure did. So we'll see. I don't know. That's all still 14 weeks away, 15 weeks away from where we're at right now. So cautiously optimistic is how I'd call myself as a Vikings fan right now.
Got it. So again, appreciate the outside takes on this, because again, we often get too Bill centric for our own good. So that's why we felt like getting someone like you on here could give us a little bit more of like a wider lens of not only just other teams in the league, but then just perspective in general. Just kind of getting into more of that perspective. some initial takes you have for other teams in the NFL. Anything like truly standing out to you? Maybe it's a surprise, something that they really chuckle at. I mean, we're kind of relishing in the fact that the Ravens and the Chiefs are both going to basically go against each other this Sunday, and one of them is walking away 1-3, much to our
hope they can tie.
Delight.
We'll take a tie too.
That'd be wild too.
But at the same, great.
Yes, that would be great for America. But still, with that, also, maybe some takes you have on other teams. But again, now that you and I have known each other for a few years at this point, give us an unbiased take on the Bills. And then just, again, any anecdotes of information that you think are just relevant to the team, or just little funny things that you've just noticed now that you've had a little bit more of a lens of observation to them these last few years in our conversations.
I mean, as far as the Bills go, I know that you know, Chris, how I feel about your team. As a Vikings fan, I almost feel like I'm almost an honorary member of Bills Mafia. We have been through a lot of heartbreak with our respective teams. Certainly, we don't play in the same conference. I've got nothing against the Bills. And again, like I said, Josh Allen seems like a good dude. I want them to do well. Hopefully this is the year. This kind of seems like it is a win now mode for your team right now, especially considering some of the bugaboos that you guys have had to deal with in the past. The Chiefs, I know I'm not going to write them off. I'm not going to shovel dirt on their grave right now, but they don't look like the same Chiefs team that's terrorized the league for the past 6-7 years.
They are without weapons, but even so, like Xavier Worthy was still there for a good chunk of the game. He'll be back this Sunday. I'm still not confident that Rashee Rice coming after week 6, going into week 7 off an ACL injury last year is going to make a huge difference.
Right. Dysfunction on the sidelines, Kelsey and the coach blowing up last game. Love to see that.
I saw that. I mean, I also think that some of that gets kind of blown up just because of who Travis Kelsey is right now, and because it's a nice thing to run on shows like, Pardon the Interruption. But I think Kelsey's enough of a pro to smooth that over with Andy Reid going forward. As far as other teams go, I think it's kind of a season right now dominated by maybe kind of unlikely quarterback success stories. To begin with, Daniel Jones, who actually looks like a reclamation project. We did sign him, telling me that KOC saw something in Daniel Jones, but he's looked like a Pro Bowler these first 3 games. I did not see that one coming. Baker Mayfield, who we always knew kind of had that dog in him, he looks like a Pro Bowler too, in a different conference, of course. So I don't know. Is it just a flash in the pan? Is it smoke and mirrors? But right now, there are some quarterbacks that other teams have given up on that kind of seem to be having their way with the league right now and making the game look easy. And
to that point, real quick, not good. Also, a local guy, Brian Dable here, former OC. The fact that Daniel Jones looks like good he is. So.
He looks sharp. I mean, do I think that the Colts are going to do much damage? Probably not. But again, I didn't see that start to the season coming.
Right.
As far as other teams go, I don't know. I mean, it's so easy to overreact now that we're only 3 weeks into the season. But I'll flip this around. I mean, are there teams that kind of surprise you, either for good or for bad at this point?
Sean, I'll let you take point on that first.
Yeah, well, I mean, definitely the Colts. I figured that the Colts were going to be probably the second or the third team in that division, but that division just looks, I don't know, like the Jags are just kind of like a weird. I picked the Jags to make the playoffs, probably like at a lower seed.
They should be 3-0 right now. Yeah.
Yeah, and the same thing is on the opposite of that, polar end of the spectrum. Tampa is 3-0, and they've barely won every game. Like they've had to pull it out at the very, very end. Haven't really impressed me, although Baker is my fantasy quarterback, and I actually gave a take. My hot take was that Baker would lead the league in passing yards, which he could, just with the weapons he has at receiver. And unfortunately, Mike Evans got banged up, so we'll have to see what the prognosis is for that. I'm trying to think who else I've been impressed with. Rodgers. Rodgers has looked serviceable. I think just that in itself, after obviously he didn't really get a fair shake of it on the Jets, obviously with, the injury happened. So he moves on and has a decent receiving core and a team around him, over there. So like to see, would they be a playoff team? And I guess one team that I guess
looks rejuvenated. Yeah.
What's that? Say it again.
I think DK Metcalf looks rejuvenated. Looks like
for sure. I mean, I'm just 100%. Rodgers looks serviceable. Like he looks like an NFL quarterback out there. And just thought that he was washed up, just how old he is. But if you keep the guy upright, obviously he can make all the throws with the arm talent that's there.
Still there.
And I guess so. Two teams out of the same division in the AFC West that I have my ears perked up. The Chargers have my attention for sure. I don't know. Like they seem like this could be the year that they're legit. I think that Herbert might be taking that step into the upper echelon and the elite into the top 5 of the quarterbacks. It seems like he's right there. Yep. So there's that. And Denver has disappointed me a little bit. I thought Denver was going to probably be the best team in that division, and it looks like the Chargers, although it's only a couple of weeks in, but looks like they might be the cream of the crop there.
Bo Nix may have taken a step back. Not the best start to the season, but again, 3 weeks in, so take everything with a grain of salt right now.
Yeah, one team I wanted to bring up. One team I thought, it's kind of going back to the AFC South a bit. As much as like the AFC and Bills fan in me appreciates this, is the Texans starting to see a lot of chinks in their armor on here, because C.J. Stroud, he had a bit of a sophomore slump last year, but nobody thought the slide would continue the way it has been. I mean, I think their offense has produced like the least amount of yards in the league so far, 3 weeks. Again, like you said, take this with a grain of salt. It's only the first month of the season we're experiencing here. But still, I mean, getting targets out to Nico Collins shouldn't be that big of a deal. You have Christian Kirk, who's shown to be a reliable receiver. I mean, Nick Chubb, he seems to be immortal despite all these injuries of his. I mean, it's very interesting to see that this highly touted quarterback, he came out swinging the very first season he was there as a rookie. The defense is still extremely strong with Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. What is it? Will Anderson or Will McDonald? I think he's the other edge rusher in Houston.
Anderson is the DN from
Will
Bama.
Anderson. Yes, exactly. You got Stingley out there. They have a strong defense, and DeMeco Ryans still very well respected coach, of course, too. But just to see this initial slump and slide, I know a buddy of mine, Chris, a big Colts fan, he is very happy to see their early demise at this point in time, just because, again, they've always been a bit of a thorn in their side as well, just being a division rival. But they've been, to me, kind of the biggest surprise so far for just how inept their offense has been. I believe it was Bobby Slowick. He was their highly touted offensive coordinator, got a bunch of looks for head coaching positions, things like that in the last few years. Now he's at Miami, but again, that has produced minimal results there for the Dolphins. Got so many people on the hot seat there already. But again, to me, I think Houston is the biggest surprise in the AFC so far. Obviously, you have the Dolphins, like I just mentioned before, with McDaniels continue to be on the hot seat. It'll be very curious to see if the owner, Stephen Ross, would pull the trigger on canning him if they lose to the Jets, because that will have been 3 division losses for the Dolphins if that does happen. Furthermore, the Jets, again, the 3 games they played, they got stomped by the Bills. They put up a good fight against the Buccaneers and the Steelers in weeks 1 and 3. You could tell that he's starting to get a little bit of his fingerprints on the team. They're still not going out without a fight. Again, unless of course it was against the Bills where they just totally crumbled. But still, you could see in the couple of years where they get maybe a better quarterback instead of Justin Fields or Tyrod Taylor for that matter, even though we have much love for Tyrod. I feel like they're just a couple steps away from being a true contender. I do think Aaron Glenn is right fit culturally for them. He's exactly what they needed after the fiasco of Rodgers and Saleh and Adam Gase even before then. The Patriots, they're still kind of a question mark to me, despite these couple of weeks, because
they're underwhelming. They're underwhelming to me.
Drake May, again, he's looked very inconsistent. He's looked, again, he didn't start the whole season last year, but he still got he has a lot of those rookie tendencies. He was prone to a lot of mistakes this past Sunday against the Steelers, whether it was in fumbles or interceptions, things like that. But again, he's still a young player. You don't want to have the jury out on him entirely. But what's more surprising is for all the free agent pickups that the Patriots had. Now, you don't obviously want to just build in free agency for your team, of course, because that's a lot of older veterans you're paying for. But it's just interesting to see. I was picking the Patriots to be number 2 in the AFC East. I mean, that could still very well be the case by the time the season's over.
By default.
But I mean, you never know what we're going to get now, just because a lot of people are giving the Bills criticism now because, you're in a soft division. Well, again, didn't stop Tom Brady for his 2+ decades of just stomping on the AFC East the way he did, of course. I think the only time he didn't win the division was when he was hurt for the season when he knocked out, and that was the Matt Castle season. They almost went to the playoffs themselves under Matt Castle. So, again, I mean, just a lot of surprise for just how underwhelming certain teams have been. Those have been some of my takeaways. And one NFC thing, just to kind of put a bow on NFL side of things for a bit, the Cardinals. While they might come off as a bit spicy, I mean, I feel like a number of years in, after seeing Kyler Murray play quarterback out in Arizona, they've continued to try and put weapons around him, whether it was DeAndre Hopkins early on.
Yeah. Marv doesn't look good.
Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, you could say it's maybe because of the way Kyler Murray's been playing. I mean, he's good for a little bit of rushing. He's good for a deep pass every now and then, but still, I feel like you've seen Kyler Murray's ceiling. He's made the playoffs, but he totally blew it against the Rams that one year they made it. I think it was like a year or two after the COVID season where they came out guns blazing, and then they just totally fizzled out because I think it was the first Cliff Kingsbury year. He was just figured out, essentially. That would be again, another team that's just overall underwhelming to me, just for how just the way the season has started. Again, lots of games left to be played, but still, those have been a few standouts for me.
Where did the Cardinals draft Marvin Harrison? Was it top 5 overall?
Yes.
He was pick number 3.
Can't miss guy. And I have him in fantasy. Another guy I have in fantasy. I have him in Neighbors in Rome.
There you go.
A lot of
2 out of 3 ain't bad. That's the meatloaf.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I'm at the point now, through 3 weeks, I'm benching Marvin Harrison this week. So it's not great.
He's got to show something. And right now, in what should be a big year for him, he's not doing that. So,
the tight end is their number 1 target. That's the problem.
McBride.
Yeah, he's very good. But.
Yeah. But shifting things a bit, I know Sean will take great pride in this next part of the conversation.
I will.
MLB, we're getting to the postseason shortly. But Grant, obviously, you love and follow the Twins as you have your entire life. But I'll let Sean kind of go further because he has some comparisons with the Pirates too.
Oh my gosh, do we? And as you see, Grant, I'm here at PNC Park, one of our favorite stadiums. We actually we're mini pack holders for the Pirates. So the quick story is, I don't know if Chris has told you before, but when we were growing up, Toronto by proximity was closer. Even Cleveland is real close. The Bisons, our AAA team, was Cleveland's affiliate when we were kids. Sure. But anyway, our dad used to take us to Pittsburgh games because they had an amazing stadium. So we kind of grew up in our formative years with McCutcheon. Like when McCutcheon was a rookie, so they were still decent. Like they were making the playoffs at least a little bit. But it's been a drought, man. It's been rough. So I had to give an ode to the Pirates today as probably the last start for Paul Skeens today. And they're currently in the 11th inning right now. And the funniest thing is I want to ask you all about the Twins. We are sitting here with identical 68 and 89 records as the time of this recording, which is shocking to me because I know the Twins have been a solid team. And I know we talked a little bit about before going live, you mentioned it escaped my radar just because I'm more focused on the Pirates, but you were talking about the fact that you guys gave up a ton of talent at the deadline. So talk a little bit about any similarities between the small market ownership, the trade deadline, and kind of what your feelings are both for the team moving forward. And then also love to hear any of your picks for this season in the playoffs. Who do you like?
Yeah, sure. Rough season for my Twins. Started out like it was supposed to. Pablo Lopez, who's our de facto ace. He's dealt with injuries all year long. We just shut him down for a forearm injury a couple of days ago. We sold away basically our entire bullpen not long after the All-Star break. In what was something that I don't think Twins fans are going to forgive our ownership group anytime soon for. The Pohlads are they floated the idea of selling the team for most of the first half of the season, only to double down about 6 weeks ago and saying, guess what, we're not going anywhere. Kind of that Wolf of Wall Street speech where they just decided that they're going to retain ownership of our team. And it's unfortunate because we play in a beautiful stadium. I would say almost as nice as PNC. It's certainly PNC adjacent for a downtown stadium. But we just don't have a ton of talent on the roster right now. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. Certainly Byron Buxton is our best player. He's finally put together a healthy year. I did see that earlier tonight he had another leadoff homer, bringing him to 32 on the season. But beyond him, it's pretty patchy. We are not a team that we can count on to contend in the AL Central, barring major changes going forward. We do have a stud rookie that we're going to be calling up. He'll be ready for opening day next season, Walker Jenkins. Remember the name. He's made his way from single A up to triple A right now. But it's certainly frustrating because you're right. We have been historically a pretty solid team, like the Vikings. Like we can count on us not to be a garbage team, but that's kind of where we're at right now. So about the Twins right now, probably the less said, the better. Certainly we just want, Pablo Lopez to get healthy for next year, but even with him, it's going to be a long road. And if you're talking about teams right now that are going to make a run at the playoffs, I wish I had a hotter take for you than the Dodgers. I really don't see any way. You know what I mean?
Money, man. It comes down to money.
But anytime a team's got 3 MVPs that you can bat back to back to back in a lineup, and they've got the starting pitching that they have, assuming Shohei can actually go more than 4 innings at a time, and assuming Kershaw gets it together for one last, that to me is the team to beat.
Yeah, I mean, they've been the model of consistency these last few years, going to back-to-back deep playoff runs with the World Series championship as well mixed in there. Not to mention, like you said, that just all-star lineup, just all up and down their batting order, of course. But still, they didn't even have that. They weren't like a juggernaut throughout the regular season either. I think they barely just cracked 90 wins not too long ago.
Right, and Mookie Betts is having maybe his worst season of the past decade, but he's still a 6-WAR player. I just have faith in that team to, take care of business once the playoffs roll around. And as far as the AL goes, certainly I'm rooting against the Yankees. You may have some Yankee listener fans out there, in which case I'm half-heartedly apologizing, but you guys do own the Twins. So you've brought me nothing but nightmares for the past 15 years of my Twins fan existence. So
we're going to selfishly root for the Tigers. I'm sorry. I know that's your division rival. If they make it in, because they have a tenuous grasp on that wild card right now, I've been hearing.
Well, they're doing what the Twins did last season. I mean, we led the AL Central for, I think, 97% of the season, and then we collapsed at the very end. And then Cleveland, like they're doing right now, swooped in and stole that division crown. Seems like they're doing the same thing right now. But that said, clearly I've already said that I hate Green Bay and everything Wisconsin. I don't have that kind of enmity toward Cleveland or to Detroit. Awesome cities as far as I'm concerned. And both cities have truly been through it. So
the Lake Erie brethren right there. I mean, I've told you plenty of times you've also, folks have also heard this plenty of times. Like our dad's a Detroit fan through and through for most sports. I mean, he's not a big basketball guy, but Lions, faithful, Detroit Red Wings, and honestly, like Tigers are, I think, one of his very first passions. That was like his team just growing up, because despite being in Buffalo, he was able to get on his radio Tigers broadcast all the way here, because again, you're just separated by the lake essentially.
Right. So I'm kind of curious about this too. I mean, talking to a couple of guys from Buffalo, how do people in Buffalo tend to break down with regard to their MLB allegiances?
Oh,
Well,
is Boston the closest? Is Pittsburgh the closest? Is Cleveland the closest?
Toronto. Toronto's
a
the closest, but it's
hodgepodge.
Canadian.
Oh, okay.
So
you get a hodgepodge, and because Toronto a couple of years ago played in the Bison's, the Buffalo AAA stadium, and now since they're the minor league affiliate, that obviously boosted the Buffalo fandom in the area for the Blue Jays. Of course, not the fact that they were the farm team also helped as well. Sure. But bringing like Major League Baseball to Buffalo was like a big draw. Granted, the stadium can only fit roughly like just under 20,000, but it was a huge deal. I mean, despite those being like COVID impacted years, of course. But like Sean was saying, like earlier, you get some people like Red Sox fans. Again, we were close proximity to Pirates fans, of course. Tons of Yankees fans. I would probably say that's like the majority there because they are technically a New York team. Plenty of Mets fans, of course, as well, just because, again, another New York team and relatively newer. Cleveland, like Sean was saying, was also the major league affiliate for a while. Again, also, just to kind of backtrack, the Mets were for like a year or two as well. That was like just a brief period of time, only like a year or two. But still, you get a variety of baseball fandom out there. I mean, there's definitely a love for it in the region in Western New York. I mean, if you go just an hour or so east down the I-90, you have the Rochester Red Wings, who are the Washington Nationals affiliate too. So you get, again, everybody's just kind of peppered in there just because you have so many teams just surrounding Western New York and the city of Buffalo. I mean, you truly get a hodgepodge of fandom for MLB baseball.
Got it.
So
how does that work with the NBA as well? I'm just fascinated. Buffalo's a city I've never once been to. You guys can let me know all the restaurant recommendations that you might have. I'd love to go there.
We can do that.
It's going to happen for sure. But yeah, I mean, as far as the NBA goes, I mean, what's the closest team? Is it Toronto Raptors or what?
It would be Toronto again.
Close proximity-wise,
and the Cleveland Cavaliers, I mean, would also be not far behind. I mean,
Knicks.
Pittsburgh does not have an NBA team. Knicks, there's a pretty big Knicks.
I was a Knicks fan in college. And then that kind of went away. Now, honestly, more so, and this is, Chris, you could correct me if you think that I'm wrong in this. I think that we don't really have an NBA team in Buffalo. Like, I think most Western New Yorkers' favorite basketball team is Syracuse.
For college, predominantly, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you have surrounding colleges that are like bigger names and such, but I mean, you're not following Ohio State for basketball. You're following them for football. But Syracuse, especially back in 2003 when they won the national championship, like, again, they've just dominated like any type of basketball in the area. But then, of course, you have the Big Four in Buffalo as well. I mean, University of Buffalo, like, they've made a couple little Cinderella runs these last couple of years. The women's, years ago, they had the Buffalo Braves. Now the LA Clippers. So thanks for that one. Our
Bob
Texas
McAdoo.
family. Yep, Bob McAdoo. Still backtracking on basketball again. You have St. Bonaventure, a 10 team. Canisius, like much lower tier as well, but who else am I thinking? Buff State, they're more Division III, of course, where Sean went. You have Niagara, they're Division I. Just kind of one of the lesser, not lesser, like the lower tiered divisions out there, but still, like, you got some good college basketball fandom kind of peppered in there, but NBA, it's hard to come by as opposed to some of the other leagues out there. But I would definitely say, if just at least from my perspective, chat, feel free to correct me on this one as well. I feel like MLB has a much bigger following than I would say NBA in the Western New York region. So again, subject to debate, of course, because again, I've never been an NBA fan much my entire life, because I think most of it, like, you end up following a superstar in this day and age, the more you follow a team.
That makes sense. That's right.
Yeah. But let's just do a quick little side note here to get a word from our sponsor. We are brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. So your season, your shot, the NFL season is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first touchdown scorer to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. So just going over some current lines for this week. So Grant's aforementioned Minnesota Vikings are favored by 2.5 against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Ireland this Sunday. The Bills, they are massive favorites this week, 2+ score favorite over the New Orleans Saints. I mean, obviously you don't want to see that as a potential trap game for the Bills, just for Bills fandom and Bills Mafia out there, but they are favored by 15.5 currently, minus 15.5 points. But again, feel free to check out the other current odds that are on DraftKings at this time. But for new customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. And for the disclaimer, gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Fees may apply in Illinois, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. And that is a limited time offer. And with that, we are back to our regularly scheduled program.
Very nicely done.
So always put on my robot voice for the disclaimer there, folks. But again, check out DraftKings, one of our sponsors of this show here. But now shifting things over from MLB over to hockey. We got some preseason
hockey, baby.
Yes. Preseason hockey is now underway for all the teams across the league. Grant, again, as we said before, you mentioned that you are a Caps fan after growing up in your formative years. Ovi, during last season, his last ride. Caps themselves are an older team. How do you like their chances going into this season for Ovi's last ride? Because while they had a strong start to the playoffs this past season, they were ultimately just kicked aside by the Carolina Hurricanes in round 2 of the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. So what are your Caps takes at this point in time?
So I would, leaven this by saying that I certainly did not expect last season to actually happen the way that it did. Last season, I definitely thought we wouldn't contend, but if we could get Ovi a chance at the record, that would be a successful season. And it turned out that not only did he get the record, but we were a great team. You're right, though, Chris. It's kind of an older team. Ovi's last ride has got to be kind of sentimental for sure. It's tough to be super optimistic about this team going forward. I feel like last year there might be a bit of a hangover effect from that. I mean, yes, we won our first round, but, Carolina totally outclassed us. That was not
only for them to be outclassed later. And also friend of the show, Craig Connor, he wants to come on sometime to chat some Carolina Hurricanes. So they unfortunately met their demise to the Florida Panthers in the Eastern Conference Finals. But still, the Caps before then had a very untimely exit. But any more on them?
I mean, it's tough to say. I don't think TJ Oshie is officially retired yet.
Yeah,
American hero. All those shootout goals that he scored. Still an absolute legend. But no, it's an old team, and it should be sort of a rebuilding year for us.
You know who also, I do like, Grant? Grant, I do like Connor McMichael quite a bit.
Oh, you like him?
Is he good? Don't?
No, I mean, I think he's going to be a stud this year. He might be our best player.
Guy. He's a young guy, right?
Yeah, no, he came up through Hershey, our minor league affiliate. It's going to be some growing pains with us this year. I don't expect us to make the playoffs. I'll say that. And, the rude awakening that we suffered at the hands of Carolina. Look, I mean, the East is loaded. There are some great teams out there. And as a Caps fan, I just don't think that we've got the talent right now. There's some young guys coming up, but as far as can we compete with the upper echelon of the East right now? not to mention the Edmonton Oilers of the West. We can't hang with them. We can't swim in that end of the pool right now, and I'm okay with that. I just want Ovi to go out because he is the single best athlete in DC sports history. People are going to overlook that. He is an absolute legend in DC.
So while eating those giant pasta dishes before literally every single game, which is just achievement in and of itself with that diet.
I have seen him multiple times pre-game and can confirm that A, he likes to eat a lot of pasta pre-game, and B, he's just huge. I'm not sure if you've ever been to see a Caps game in person in the past, 15 years, 20 years, even since he first
a couple times. I mean, he's just like for the price of admission, he's worth it, even if the team isn't doing well.
Yeah, I mean, he towers over some of these guys that he plays against, and you wouldn't expect him to be as great of a goal scorer as he is, but I mean, he lights people up. He lives to body check people into the boards, and he's got to be sincerely missed in these parts when he finally hangs up those skates, because he has done a ton to put DC on the map. And one last thing about the Capitals is that I kind of feel there's some synergy with the Capitals and the Vikings and maybe the Bills, just in terms of, yes, the Caps did win a Stanley Cup in 2018. Is that right? Let me check.
Yeah, yep, 2018. Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at. I've got a thing right here that says that.
Banner.
Piece of plexiglass, actually, from the arena.
Excellent.
Nice.
But I mean, that's a team that won the President's Cup so many times. They were the best team in the regular season so many times, and they just couldn't get it done in the playoffs. And I know that
until they did.
Until that resonates with Bills fans. It resonates with Vikings fans, certainly.
Hell, Rory McIlroy, same thing this past year with the Masters.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So that he was finally able to get that team over that mountain. Enjoy retirement. He's certainly going to have a pretty fun retirement. He might have some vodka, or 2 or 3 of them,
or a beer or 30.
Yeah,
it's not going to make a dent. He's the Russian machine,
right? But, exactly.
I wish I could be more optimistic about my takes with the Capitals, but send him out and give him a good swan song. How about Buffalo? How are you guys going to be this year?
Well, I got a quick one for you too. Talking about Ovi when he broke the record. It's funny that I'm here. So I'm pretty sure the person I talked that night, but the night that he broke the goal scoring record, obviously they did the pause in the middle of the game. I'm sure you remember. I was at the casino that I'm at right now at Caesar Sportsbook, Cherokee Valley. And that's where I'm at right now, recording live from. Just hit 2 parlays, by the way, in baseball.
He's in fact, if you're watching on the video side, folks, he is in fact not in the Sabres locker room.
No, I'm in my hotel room at the Caesars Cherokee River Valley in North Carolina. So shout out to them. But no, this is literally where I was. That was either at one time or maybe 2 times ago when I was here. Was when he broke that record, and I was literally the only person that cheered. Like, I was watching the game at the bar. And like everybody yelled, they're like, shh, like you can't yell. I'm like, Ovechkin just broke the goal scoring record. And like no one seemed to really care that much. I care, definitely.
Well, I mean, you should care. And there was a time, I think 2 games before he broke the record, when we could have put him on in an open net situation, and he said, "No, I don't want to score against an open net. I want to score against an actual goalie." And he did.
I want to cock my stick back on the power play and just wait for someone to pass me and just rip one-timers. That's what I want to do.
He just hangs up
it was perfect. It was perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, and what was unfortunate is that it was at the Nassau Coliseum as opposed to being in DC. But still, like, there were plenty of people that made the trek and paid literally like $1,000 for that ticket. I mean,
was there. His family was there.
Man.
Oh yeah, I mean, just the historical components that go into that kind of game, or just that type of like career performance, like unprecedented. I saw some snarky Leafs fans on social media saying, "Oh, Austin Matthews is on a faster pace than Ovechkin ever was." Well, yeah, you know why? Because Ovechkin had 2 lockout shortened seasons, some injuries that he ended up playing through, and just every other manner of reduced.
He broke his leg and came back.
He broke his leg. You're right.
Yes.
That's
so
crazy, bro.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear any slander towards Ovechkin, despite being a Sabres fan until the day I die. But still, I don't want to hear anything on Austin Matthews. I mean, get past round 2 of the playoffs. The Sabres have made it more recently to the round, to round 3 of the playoffs. Excuse me. Sabres have made it to round 3 of the playoffs more recently than the Leafs have. So there you go. Yes.
But to Grant's question, so he asked us, Chris, about the Sabres. So it's early. I've been definitely someone who's been strong opinionated as far as like they made some trades. They've definitely changed the mix of players. They look like they're going to be a lot tougher to play against. Like
that's been the tagline of the offseason too.
But you're seeing it. Yeah. They played 2 preseason games and they're playing that way. So that's at least, I know it's not the regular season, but it does seem like things are going to be different. Lindy Ruff, head coach, back for a second tour of duty, basically stamped all the moves in the offseason. He came in at the end of the offseason, like last season, so he didn't really have a say in any of the moves, and he obviously blessed and had his hand on a lot of the moves. They traded out their second or third best goal scorer, a kid, JJ Paterka, who didn't really play a lot of defense, for a legitimate D partner for top 4 defenseman to play with Owen Power, and they looked awesome in the preseason game. I think it was last night.
2 nights ago they played. Good. 2 nights ago those guys played, Kesselring and Power. So, but last night Dahlin played and he had a sick play just for getting into that power play. It was fantastic to watch.
Yep.
But one other thing with the Sabres, Sean mentioned some of the trades that were made. A lot of people were hoping they would have been more prone to go big game hunting because, again, they were one of the top salary cap teams as far as like dollars go. But again, the Sabres these past 5-6 years have been underspending as far as just like getting in elite level talent, and a lot of people just criticized Terry Pegula and Kevin Adams for their just lack of let's just say tenacity in making moves like that. But a lot of the moves weren't deemed as like super sexy moves, to say the least. I mean, Sean mentioned the Michael Kesselring trade, getting that player back as like a pretty highly touted defenseman. I mean, also in that trade return, Josh Doan, a son of Shane Doan, he was part of that return as well. So a lot of people are getting pretty high on him just because, again, the potential. He's a second-round draft pick. Again, the bloodlines are there just for who Shane Doan was, of course. But, I mean, he's got his own little hype in and of in himself with Josh Doan, with just a lot of pundits and analysts there looking at more of the fancy stats, of course. Like Sean was also saying, a little bit more of like the depth portions of defense were added. You have Connor Timmins coming in from Pittsburgh after, why am I drawing a blank on him? The guy we had, he came from Boston. Sean, who am I thinking of? It was part of the Connor Timmins trade. It was a Connor for a Connor, wasn't it? What the heck? Yes, Connor Clifton.
See you later.
Yes, so he was a little bit more of a liability on the ice. It's an interesting one. The Sabres actually signed a Richmond-born player, Zach Jones. He was on the Rangers last year, played 46 NHL games, so be very curious to see.
We're working on getting him to come on, maybe as a future guest. We'll see what we can do there.
Yeah, so we'd love to have him on the show just to talk more, just from obviously our connection to Richmond, but also just him being on the team. But still, I mean, the jury's still out for how truly more difficult the team will be playing against them. But still, the Sabres have been prone for years as just being a softer team. Like the case in point was when Tage Thompson was just mugged in the middle of the ice by Stefan Neuesen from the New Jersey Devils. It was like later part of the season, like they were more or less out of the playoff race, but it was such a defining moment of last season where it was just like they had a team meeting the day after and just talking about how just being able to play for each other. What I like so far for returning coach Lindy Ruff this season is he's making a pointed effort to make sure there's like more team camaraderie. Like they're basically being made to love each other as a team should in that regard, but just really emphasizing on team culture and making sure these guys play for each other. So I do like that. But again, just for how much just negativity and just bad fortune the team has had, it's hard to be truly optimistic. I mean, we'll cover this team and focus on as many positives as we can. But I mean, is there a chance? Sure. I mean, you see a couple pundits out there like Jay Fresh Hockey or Dom Luscheisen, maybe giving the team some
NHL
chances.
Network, Chris.
NHL Network too, of course. I mean, they're picking the Sabres to finally break the drought this year and hopefully make sure the Jets still stay in the longest playoff drought. But still, Am I mildly optimistic? Of course, blindly every single year, yes. But it's one of those believe it when you see it type of deals.
Yep, and I'll be there, Grant, too. The first game, home opener was it next week or the following week, Chris?
It is
Next
October
Thursday.
7th. So
October 7th, I will be there in Buffalo, flying
Mhm.
in before coming to Richborough. Actually, I'm going to go catch the first game of the season.
Well, actually,
cover
Rich
it in
Brown
the
will be
locker rooms.
after because Rich Brown will be October
Yeah, it's after.
10th.
I'm saying, well, I'm going to Buffalo
Yes.
first, then going to Richmond after. Yeah.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
guys are going to be at Richborough. What date again?
October 10th with Tyler Dunn of GoLongTD.com, by the way, folks. So we'll tune in because obviously Tyler will be joining us remotely because he'll be still broadcasting from his home studio. But all the Richmond folks, be sure to come check out Rich Brow that night, October 10th at 7 p.m. Come get some drinks. Come enjoy. They make some great pizzas down there at Rich Brow as well. But just enjoy the good vibes down by Shockoe Bottom, great area where that brewery is located. It should be a great time once again. Our first live show we did back in August with Tim Graham was a great success for us as well. We hope to continue those vibes going into what looks to be a great Bills season so far. But not only does Tyler just cover a lot of the Bills, but he covers the NFL as a whole. So we're excited to talk about that. But more on him later. Just want to kind of take a look at where we're at currently. We're sitting at hour 5 into the show. We're just at over 1,100 viewers. So thank you all for tuning in.
Thank you, everybody. Ask some questions, too. If you got any questions for Grant, Chris Maz, or myself about anything that we've talked about or anything else, comment. We'll definitely read it on there.
Yeah, but a couple things. Another segment we want to give a shout out to a couple sponsors here is our Grind My Gears, Give Them Their Flowers segment. The Give Them Their Flowers segment brought to you by Larger Than Life Blooms, our very first sponsor. Just want to make sure that if you have some hate you want to lay, so that what's grinding your gears, always feel free to talk about that. Or if you're feeling like you want to give somebody some props and give them their flowers, you want to give somebody some love that they deserve for all the positive things they've done in your life, that's what we're here for on this one. But I'll go ahead and kind of start this segment before we kind of wrap things up with some picks for the NFL slate this week. I want to give some flowers to a new friend of our family. Her name's Angela Hassan. She is now the owner and proprietor of Mister's Chips Cookies here in Richmond, Virginia. So I, as well as other members of my family, have gotten to enjoy a lot of her baked goods and items on here. She's local here in the city of Richmond. She delivers all in the area. She also ships to locations outside of Richmond, but just kind of give you a little bit about her. So Angela Hassan, that's her name, and kind of giving a little blurb on one of her more recent posts. Again, this is Mister's Chips Cookies, Mister's Misters, Chips, CIPHS Cookies. What started as me baking cookies, this is Angela saying, in my kitchen with my cat, Mr. Chips, always nearby supervising, has now grown into a little dream she's sharing with us all. These aren't just cookies. They're crafted with care for the perfect balance of chewy centers, crispy edges. After rave reviews from family and friends, she's excited to finally share them with the Richmond community as well as those outside of Richmond as well. So whether you're treating yourself, surprising a friend, or bringing something sweet to the table, Mister's Chips Cookies are baked to make every moment a little bit brighter. So shout out to Angela because, again, we wanted to make really beautiful flowers, of course, too. But check her out. You can reach her on her Instagram page with Mr. Chips Cookies. So again, that's Mister's Misters underscore CH underscore so chips underscore cookies COOKIES. So again, Mister's underscore chips underscores cookies. And you could also reach her phone number at 703-317-7640. Again, outstanding. I mean, if you're familiar with crumble cookies, of course, I think they just blow them out of the water. Absolutely delicious. Again,
lofty praise there. Okay.
So no, it is worth it. So truly. Okay. So give Angela a look with Mister's Chips. So I'm giving my flowers to her as she's done a lot for our family at this point in this time. So Grant, you want to lay some hate or give some flowers?
I can lay some hate. Yeah, it's been a long day, so you better believe I'm going to lay some hate. Can I spread it on two different things right now, or do I have to focus on one?
No, yeah. Wherever you want to direct your energy the most, feel free. Have at it.
All right. Well, this is not the most topical thing, and this might be a kind of tired complaint. However, I do reject the Green Bay Packers system of fan ownership entirely. These fans do not actually own any part of that team, and they're being fleeced. And it's cute that they think of themselves as a small market team. However, this whole thing is a scam that they refuse to acknowledge at this point. So that is something that I resent about the Green Bay Packers and their self-styled system of fan ownership. The other thing,
lay that hate, let it flow through you.
It just it eats me up. But they do have a good football team, and I hate saying that, but I can certainly acknowledge that. Other thing, I'm not sure if you guys are big college football fans or not, but I do watch College Game Day most Saturday mornings.
Yep, I do.
I have noticed, maybe Kirk Herbstreit is watching the pod right now. You never know. But I have noticed he has gotten worse at holding the kick for that Pat McAfee sponsored. You have to kick a field goal to win $100,000.
Right.
Sorry, we've got some drag racers down Main Street right now. You can hear that.
Oh, there you go.
He didn't used to do this, but he's holding it at kind of a tilt right now, and he's making it a bit harder for these poor college kids to make the kick. He simply needs to do a better job of holding it more vertically. I noticed this. I don't know that anyone else does, but Herbie, you got to do better, man.
Maybe it's after a couple of those kids actually, won the money for a few of those kicks earlier in the year. So maybe
they've hit their budget. Their budget is spent.
Purposely putting the laces in or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's noticeable. It's quite crooked right now, and these kids aren't getting a fair shake. So keep being you college students, and Herbie, you got to do better. That is my take.
So nothing wrong with that. Sean, anything grinding your gears these days?
No, nothing grinding my gears, but I will give my flowers. A quick shout out to friend of the other pod, The Line is Hot, Billy the Kid. Just landed a new job that he's going to be starting on Monday. And also some good business stuff happening with the company that he and I run. So that's a shout out to him for doing great. Also, other co-host of that show, Marcus Dowden, friend of our show, former Buffalo Bill, NFL linebacker. As I shared with Chris and his wife, apparently he just purchased an equestrian facility somewhere in the Carolina and or DC area. I don't know exactly where it is.
Those are kind of far apart. You might need to figure out where.
Well, he's from the DC area and he lives in the Carolinas now. So I'm not sure where it is. I haven't had a chance to talk to him yet, but I did share with Chris and Emily basically a text that he said that he had acquired this place. He knew I like horses, and he did ask me to kind of like help promote it and maybe sit on the board of said facility. So if you've been on the show before, you've heard me talk about horses. I was at certain derbies and stuff, so I do really love horse racing. So very cool opportunity for him, and hopefully one that I'll have a chance to get involved with. And he also mentioned, Chris, the silver lining of that. If you saw, I think he said he had something like an 1,150 person podcast studio / event space. So I'm sure we'll have an access to that.
Great things to come with that. So, hey, shout out to Marcus Dowden, the hybrid, as he likes to be referred to. So one of the original safety linebacker hybrids right there. But awesome. So thanks, folks, for tuning into our grind my gears and give them their flower segment. But now, to kind of wrap things up, we want to do some picks in the style of being pickers, not like Seinfeld, but just picking some games for the week here. So with that, our NFL slate for week 4 is looking like this. So tomorrow night we have Thursday night football, Seahawks at Cardinals. We have, let's see, just the current lines on here.
Chris Mads, we picking spreads or just winners?
Winners we can just go with on here. I
don't want to give my spread picks out because you got to tune in.
Yeah,
tune in. I was going to say,
tune in. The line is hot for that one. Aaron, tomorrow night, I believe you said, correct, Sean?
Friday night.
Oh, Friday night, yes. So every Friday night. So he and Boston Mike, the whole gang of his, they go down quite a bit, and they chat for a while too. So if you're into the sports betting scene, they are your guys. But Seahawks currently favored at -1.5. But again, Arizona's at home. That's kind of like a pick 'em at that point. Who you guys like for that game?
Go ahead, Grant.
Give me Seattle. Give me Sam Darnold. I've seen him do it, and I don't have a ton of faith right now in Kyler Murray. These Thursday night games, though, I tend to stay away from just because teams are on short rest and any number of things can go wrong. So I wouldn't probably bet on this one, but if I did, Seattle.
I'm with you. Yeah. I would agree. I'll take Seattle to win, and shout out to a guy who Chris and I really wanted the Bills to draft, and he's looked awesome, which is Torrey Horton.
Yes,
Colorado
State. Colorado State. Mm-hmm.
He's balling over there. Had a punt return touchdown. He's starting to get him acclimated into the offense. So, yeah, I'll take Seattle.
Due respect, because obviously he made it to the league that was against the Saints. So I hope the Bills have some level of success similar to that this Sunday on special teams or more. So we'll see. Going a little bit further down, we don't have to do every game. Obviously, Grant's Vikings versus the Steelers. The Vikings in Ireland favored by -2.5. Grant, how are you feeling going into this game for the Vikings this Sunday? Again, Carson Wentz still at the helm.
You sure it's not London? Feels like London.
Oh, it's Ireland. It is in Dublin.
Ireland.
We know people that are going, so that's the reason why we know.
Well, I don't want them to get too far lost. Look, it's
the nice thing is it counts as an away game and a home game for the Steelers, so it kind of stinks for them. So
you guys didn't lose a home game, which is cool.
That's cool. Yes,
but we are also in Europe the very next week as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I mean, look. You can guess my thoughts about Aaron Rodgers as a longtime Vikings fan. This game does feel personal to me. I've got nothing but love for Mike Tomlin, who also, of course, went to William and Mary. But if Carson Wentz looks 80% as good as he did on Sunday, this should be a game that we don't have much of a problem taking care of business with. Having Christian Darrisaw back, our stud left tackle, certainly helps. We might move him around to help with, TJ Watt protection, but certainly I'm expecting our first big game of the year from Justin Jefferson. He's overdue for that.
I'm counting on that from a fantasy perspective. Yeah. With that, I also agree the Vikings look not to obviously just to what's it called, gaslight you here, Grant, but I do think the Steelers' defense is starting to show its age finally.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's good at my point. Minnesota's defense looks better than the Steelers. When's the last time we've ever said that? I don't think we've ever said that.
I mean, I feel like Cam Hayward's been old for like the last 7 years, and yet he's still lining up on the defensive line. Right. I mean, credit to him, he still played at a high level, of course, but just like I mean, they traded away Micah Fitzpatrick to the Dolphins for Jalen Ramsey. I mean, yes, Ramsey had that game-ending play against the Jets. I mean, that was still a solid play. So, I mean, that version of him is still in there, but he's nowhere close to the prime version of what he once was on both the Jaguars and the Rams. Like, I feel like that version of him is gone. TJ Watt, I mean, yes, he was playing against a very inexperienced Patriots offensive line there, but I mean, he was able to just feast and take advantage. I do agree, Grant, that him lining up against Darrisaw and a more experienced offensive line with the Vikings may be a bit more of a challenge for them. But again, I do think the Steelers will have a much harder time trying to stop the Vikings, especially with Jordan Addison making his way back. This is his debut coming this week.
That's what I was going to say. That's the only other note that I had, that we've got our number 2 receiver back, and he's going to open up a lot of stuff for JJ, hopefully. So.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, you got Jetta's going there. Hawkinson looked pretty solid. Granted, it was against the very shoddy Bengals defense, but again, he's looking nice. He's looking healthy. Why am I drawing a blank? Your current running back, because Aaron Jones is down, is Akers, correct? Cam Akers?
Cam Akers, yep.
Yep, all right. So hopefully, yep, very serviceable. I mean, I know you've had some opinions of Aaron Jones in the past, so maybe this will be a move for the better.
Just average,
Yes.
He's not.
He's older. He's still effective when he's out there.
Yeah,
he is. I don't know. He's what, 30, and the shelf life for running back,
ball,
as you guys knows. I mean, you guys, running backs maybe have like 3-4 good years tops, and he's already had 3-4 good years. So,
yeah.
I'll take the Vikings as well.
Yeah, I was going to say 2.5. I mean, yes, it's close, but I could see that kind of game. I mean, the Steelers are stingy enough; like they can make you eke it out till the end. I see it being something like that. I wouldn't see the Vikings winning more than like by 5 or 6, if I'm being entirely honest on here. I'll kind of go towards some more hotter matchups. Chargers, Giants. I think the Chargers are going to feast on a rookie Jackson Dart. I don't want to go too far
Their
down.
Defense is too good. Their defense is too good.
Honestly. Yep. I mean, the Bills are favored. I don't want to go too much down that rabbit hole. We think they'll win, but I don't want to obviously assume anything. Of course,
I correctly predicted that would be the largest spread of the season.
There you go.
Is it 16.5 right now?
It started at 14.5. That was the initial line.
15.5 right now. Bills are favored according to DraftKings. Yep, 15.5. I mean, I think it's going to be closer just because if you saw the same thing with the Dolphins game, Bills were favored by 11.5. The Dolphins covered the spread and only lost by 10. So
first of all, that's a division game though.
On a Thursday.
The Saints just got pummeled by a much lesser team than the Bills. Just saying.
Right. Right.
Tune in Friday to get my pick.
Yes.
Shameless plug.
One game I am very interested in: Eagles on the road at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, they're home dogs, by the way. Eagles are favored by 3.5. But I mean, for most of that game against the Rams, the Eagles had a hard time scoring until they finally started throwing to AJ Brown. Big caveat though with the Bucs is they are without Mike Evans for what looks to be a few weeks. Abuka isn't really going to need to stand up and show out. So I mean, yes, he's good. You got Bucky Irving. I mean, really shining as well these last couple of weeks. But I mean, the Bucs have their work cut out for them. But I could see that being an entertaining game. So that's a 1:00 game as well. Any likes or dislikes from that out of you guys?
No, I'd just say that the Bucs have been playing with fire, like I mentioned earlier in the show. 3 weeks in a row, they pulled all these games out. They're not going to be able to do it against the Eagles. The Eagles, I think, found something to come back, and they're playing with a lot of confidence after that Rams game. The Eagles roll in this one.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, champs are the champs until they get knocked off. I'd be rolling with Philly as well.
All right.
Should be a good game.
One, I think so, yeah. Next one I had my eye on just because Indiana Jones and the journey to Los Angeles and SoFi Stadium. That could be his movie title of the week here. Indiana Jones versus the Rams, as well as the rest of the Colts squad. Rams favored by 3.5. This is the true real test for the Colts right now because their wins came against Miami. They won on a very lucky penalty, which allowed them to get a free 15 yards and that winning field goal kick again for their Week 2 win against Denver. I think they stole that one from them. And then obviously they just dismantled the Titans, as inept as they are with Cam Ward's running the show down in Tennessee. But the Rams, they're looking strong. Again, I do think their game was stolen from them by the Eagles. They had them dead to rights. But again, you can't really count on 2 kicks being blocked the way that happened. I mean, not let alone all the other kicks that were blocked in just a frenzy of a witching hour on Red Zone this past Sunday. However, the Rams, I just think they are an NFC West juggernaut. I do see them as the favorite to win that division, despite San Francisco still being 3-0. I think the D-line of the Rams will be a big challenge for the Colts offensive line. While the Colts offensive line is quite good, quite serviceable, Jonathan Taylor should still be able to get some good looks. I do think this will be the first real hard time for Daniel Jones. He might not become Giants Daniel Jones, but I don't think it's going to be as easy for him this time around. What are your guys' thoughts? I like the Rams, and I think 3.5 is a pretty good spread.
I'm not going to pick this game, but I do think this is low-key the game of the week, beside, obviously, the powerhouse AFC matchup that I'm sure we'll be talking about next.
Oh, yes. Grant, what are your thoughts on a Rams Colts?
I'm going to keep riding the hot hand, man. Give me Daniel Jones, Indiana Jones, whatever you want to call him.
I like it.
Yeah.
I agree. It's going to be a good game. It's 2 good teams right now. But, being underdogs is a thing that I think they're kind of embracing right now. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they compete. And what you're right, should be a good test.
Yeah. Next one I'm looking at here, which I don't think is going to be much of a matchup, Niners versus Jacksonville. I think Trevor Lawrence is highly overrated, and it's very interesting to see the little tiff that he's having with a new head coach. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? Because he just did. The only thing I can picture is him saying that weird, Liam Cohen, his weird Duval, which was super awkward at his opening presser. But still, for the weapons that he has, Brian Thomas Jr., now he has Travis Hunter, Travis Etienne having a little renaissance now that the Tank Bigsby has been traded. I just don't see Trevor Lawrence just elevating any more than he already has. I think he is what he is, and he's mistake prone, and at times just really doesn't do more to help the team win. So even despite with Nick Bosa not being there, I could see the Niners having their way with Jacksonville. Still, I won't focus too much on this one because, like Sean said, we have even though they're both 1-2, a very highly touted AFC matchup with the Baltimore Ravens and Kansas City Chiefs. The Ravens are favored by 2.5. So Chiefs, 2.5-point home underdogs to the Ravens. So, gentlemen, how are we looking at this game here?
The Ravens are upset and mad, and I think they're going to run it down KC's throat. And KC, just like we talked about, they don't have their weapons right now. Until they can kind of get back to the KC that we're used to seeing. I think the Ravens are just on both sides of the ball the stronger team at the moment, and it's regular season. But yeah, I'm taking the Ravens.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think hell hath no fury like an angry Derrick Henry. We all saw Derrick Henry after another fumble-prone performance.
He also fumbled himself into the bench. That was a very awkward helmet throw.
He didn't do a great job with that, but I guess he can't be great at everything. I don't know. I mean, I would bet that he does not fumble in this game. I would bet that the Ravens take care of business, and I think that after this game, I think people are going to be asking some serious questions about KC because they're kind of stumbling out of the gate, and I don't see them righting the ship on Sunday. So.
I agree with that. I mean, I do think it is going to be uncomfortably close because while, yes, the Chiefs, they lack some firepower on offense, they always find ways for those big contending games to just keep it close. Very rarely do they ever get blown out or lose by more than one score. So I do think it's going to be uncomfortable at times for the Ravens just because the Chiefs still do have a respectable defense. I mean, Trent McDuffie, hey, he's nothing to sneeze at as a cornerback. Chris Jones is Chris Jones. He's one of the best defensive tackles in the game. I mean, I do think it's still going to be a bit of a challenge for Lamar Jackson to be as mobile as he is. I mean, I was shocked to see him get sacked as many times as he did this past Monday.
Chris, don't forget, too, also one of the biggest home field advantages, too, at KC.
Right, yes. Arrowhead is, in and of itself, one of the hardest places to play in. And I mean, Lamar Jackson has lost there before. I mean, he's been prone to losing to Kansas City in the past before. So, again, he's going to be on the road. Again, granted that they mostly mopped up the floor with the Bills defense, even though they ended up losing that game anyway. But still, all it takes is just a few plays just to have it go in the Chiefs' favor. I could very well see the Chiefs stealing this one away and stunning Baltimore, which would really put them in a tailspin because, again, Baltimore's had this highly touted defense. You have Roquan Smith. You have Kyle Van Noy. I mean, yes, he was hurt this past week, but he's still been very respectable as an edge rusher. You have Marlon Humphrey. You have Kyle Hamilton, one of the best safeties in the game right now, but yet they're giving up the most points a game, primarily because they played Detroit and they played against Buffalo, who just hung 38 and 41 on them each. So the Browns, obviously, they were never going to put too much of a fight up. So as much as it pains me, I could still see the Chiefs stealing this one. But like Sean said, you could also see them just being so pissed off for being the way that their current state of affairs is at the moment. Like the Ravens could run roughshod all over them and really put them in a tailspin. I mean, I could really go either way. It's hard for me to pick one way or the other. Both
are good.
Yes.
Either way. I'll be happy either way.
Yeah. Buffalo fans will be, I think, happy no matter what the result is. I feel like just out of personal bias sake, I think more people will be happy to see the Chiefs lose, but I think it would be just more shocking in general if the Ravens lost.
Good fun.
Yeah. With one more on here, this is the last one I want to bring up as far as picks go, and we'll put this thing to bed and put a bow on it for the night. An interesting game to look at. You have Green Bay going to Dallas. The return of Micah Parsons. Yes, of course, it's got to be the Jerry Jones show on Sunday Night Football, of course. But I do think as far as a game goes, Micah Parsons is going to eat Dak Prescott alive because it's probably been on his mind well before the offseason even began because he knew he wanted to get out of there. So what are y'all's thoughts? Do you think it's going to be a Packers defensive feast, or will the Cowboys put up a fight and just lay an egg on Sunday Night Football?
I think Green Bay is going to roll. They're going to bounce back. They're hearing like the media and a lot of people kind of talk smack about them for losing to, again, a very formidable Cleveland defense. I think the fact that CeeDee Lamb is out of this game, he's going to be out for, I believe, a while. That's huge. And they're going to have to rely on Pickens to be their number one receiver, which Pickens is awesome. They got issues. I think Green Bay is way too strong of a team. Green Bay is going to roll.
I hate saying that. I mean, y'all know my thoughts on Green Bay. I think that the CeeDee Lamb loss was absolutely a dagger for Dallas. That offense had been on fire to start the season. And with CeeDee Lamb, I could see Dallas putting up 30 with Micah or without Micah on Green Bay. But not having your best weapon on offense and going against a team that is probably still smarting from that wonderful loss to Cleveland. Packers are going to be out for blood, and I don't see them losing that game. But I'm still going to hope they lose. All right.
I mean,
Fair enough.
for you, it's a win-win. I mean, everybody wants to see the Cowboys crumble, but at the same time, for you as an NFC North fan, you would be extremely thrilled to see the Packers lose, among many other things happening to the Packers, of course. But still, that will be intriguing nonetheless, only because of just that Micah Parsons caveat. So with that, folks, we are about 90 minutes deep. To our over 1,200 viewers, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate the viewership and support of the show.
Thank you, everybody.
Yep. Again, Grant, it was a pleasure having you on the show finally, just being able to give your takes on Vikings as well as many other things. Looking forward to having many more talks, not only in work, but hey, maybe again on here in the future.
And beer soon, Grant. Beer soon, buddy.
Yes.
You bet, man. Thank you both for having me. Again, keep doing what you're doing, and I look forward to seeing y'all both at Rich Brow real soon.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
With that, again, reminder about our Rich Brow show. This will be Friday, October 10th. The show will be at 7 p.m. Sean and I will both be at Rich Brow. Sean will be joining me live this time, so he won't be remote. Not at the Syracuse Casino this time. He's going from casino to casino here, folks. But still, Tyler Dunn will be joining to talk about all things Bills, all things NFL around the NFL here. He had a great series on the Chicago Bears and their Factory of Dysfunction. Check that out on golongtd.com. It is a phenomenal platform. You don't get any type of journalism in this day and age similar to it. So feel free to check out his show. We are a big proponent of him, and we appreciate his support always, of course. But folks, for those tuning in, you can probably catch us sometime early next week as we are going to be breaking down the results of the Bills-Saints game, maybe a little bit more preseason Sabres action. Another thing coming up down the pipeline for us, we're going to have another previous guest, Jenna Harner, and her husband, Mike DeFabo of Pittsburgh, coming to join us on an upcoming show, which we can't wait to talk some Steelers about. So be on the lookout for that as well. We'll update you on when that will be. But with that, Shawnee V, any parting words?
Nope. I'm going to go cash in my parlay tickets and take Billy the Kid out to dinner. So
there you go.
There you go.
Nothing like an 11 p.m. dinner, right?
That's right.
On that note, folks, let's go Buffalo. And for Grant,
Let's go
we'll put a
Buffalo.
little skull in there too. So
Go.
Skull Vikings. All
And go
right.
Mafia.
Yes. Appreciate that. Y'all have a good one. Have a good night.